Hello everyone, my name is Mariana Alfaro and today I'm going to share with you the story of Malala Yousafzai, written by Joan Galat and illustrated by Ara Lewis. This is the cover of the book with Malala Yousafzai and her burqa. In the background has school supplies and flowers. The first page of the inside of the book has Malala Yousafzai at school. That's Malala Yousafzai with her books and inside the classroom. An illustration by R. Lewis. Malala Yousafzai became an activist at an early age. She was just 11 when she became an activist. She was upset with the militant restrictions, the Taliban. Malala wished to one day have the freedom to education and equal rights for everyone. Her dad supported her, and together they fought for justice. Girls were restricted more than boys. Malala didn't like this. She fought for justice, fighting against the Taliban. Unfortunately, the Taliban has too much power and became upset when they felt threatened by Malala's activism. She was shot in the head, but she survived. After the shooting, she was in critical condition, but was able to overcome such a challenging period in her life. The author Galat explained she felt God let her live so that she could continue to help others. Regardless of pain and anger, she let go of every feeling against the people who hurt her and forgave them to continue her life and fight for justice. Resilience led her to achieve freedom for everyone. Her achievements were recognized, and she was awarded with honorable prizes like the Nobel Peace Prize and money. At the age of 16, she became the youngest person to be honored with a Nobel Peace Prize. She opened schools with the money that she won. Galat shared that Malala kept going in life despite of her fear. She kept giving speeches, writing books, appearing on TV, and visiting refugee camps. As Malala became stronger, something became notable to society. It was observed that the Taliban had not been able to silence Malala and instead make her a strong woman. In the end, she achieved what she had wished and dreamed of. She led young girls to an education that would empower them and achieved a higher education herself. She graduated from Oxford University in 2020. Here we see the cover art features an animated image of Malala Yousafzai wearing her burqa, which was explained by Galat has a head-to-toe garment with small slits for eyes. She is standing against a wallpaper that has flowers and school supplies printed over pink, which is something that represents her life story. Inside the book, we saw different pictures, like for example, Malala cheering with her people. This is one of the pictures that I really love. This is her where she lived and her family and the people that she was always fighting for. This story is a fictional biography since it is based on a real life story, the life of Malala Yousafzai. The quotes that I really love from the book were, "They cannot stop me. I will get my education if it's at home, school, or somewhere else," by Malala Yousafzai. Another quote by the author would be, "She felt God let her live so that she could continue to help others." There were times when she would struggle with society Not all, not everyone agreed with her decisions and her fight for justice. And she had a really hard time achieving what she wanted for everyone, it's girls especially, who were restricted to get an education. Another quote that I really loved was, "I tell my story not because it is unique, but because it is the story of many girls." She wanted to represent the ones that were silenced and were in so much fear that they could not speak up for themselves. She was afraid, but still had the courage to go out and fight for justice and the education of many girls. I love these quotes because they demonstrate the perseverance that Malala had. Even though she was challenged with extreme situations, giving up was never an option. She fought with words and actions for those who were silenced and were too afraid, like her, to speak up. She fought like a warrior do, not only for herself, but also for her people. I couldn't find any weaknesses in this book. I really loved everything in it, the illustrations, the maps. Um, there's a there's sections where they give you myth and facts. For example, this one says, for a myth, anyone could read the Quran to learn about Islamic law. And the fact would be, many people couldn't read. They didn't know the extremists were making up religious laws. This is Malala in one of her speeches. All the pictures were really detailed. I love all of them. Also, I like that it has a timeline, as the story goes on. Maps that show places of the places that she went throughout the book. Each chapter has a picture of Malala with a glimpse of the content for the following pages in the chapter. Like the one that I had showed you, it's chapter 4, Living in Fear. It's her looking at her people all worried, thinking about how she's going to change things. I also like that it has side notes that allow the reader for critical thinking on the border of the page. They're called Jump in the Think Tank. One of them is, how would you feel if you couldn't do what you want just because you're a boy or a girl? How would you feel if you couldn't do what you want just because you're a boy or a girl? And I like the quotes are in large letters. They really stand out from the text. For example, this one. Right here we see, I know the importance of education because my pets and books were taken from me by force. Also, each section has its titles. There's also a quiz at the end of the book. This is to help students understand and reflect on the story of the book. I don't remember if I mentioned it already. It also has a glossary. I like the glossary has all the new words that the reader might not know. The words that are difficult to understand for second grade to fourth grade are written in bold letters. Like for example, right here we see capital and ambassador. they're breathing bold so that they can stand out from the text. And then you can look it up at the end to see what they mean. I believe that Malala Yousafzai actions were very brave. This is a book that I really enjoyed reading. An assignment that I would love to share with my students would be an art project that would demonstrate bravery, just like Malala's bravery. I would like to paint their hands, print them on a piece of paper, and then when it's dry, they can write a word that they would like to fight for in life. For example, happiness, peace, education, just like Malala, and a bullying. Those are just some examples. When all the projects are done, I would like to place them in an album that would be placed in an accessible place like our classroom library. This album would remind of my students of the things that they wish for the things that they have to fight for to accomplish, and the things that they're not going to be afraid of. I want my students to know that being brave, resilient, and happy might not always be easy, but with effort, it is possible to achieve. Thank you so much for everything. Goodbye.